Hi there, welcome to Stellaris Dev Diary 101, Marauders, Pirates, the Horde, and also Mercenaries. A lot of new Apocalypse features are being revealed. You see the Marauders, Mercenaries that you can hire from the Marauders, then the Horde mid-game crisis with a Great Khan, and a Pirate rework is coming. But the devil's in the details, or the fun rather. So, what is this about? So, first they are Marauders. As a difference to the Nomads, they are now, and to the Pirates, they are a non-playable empire that you can encounter in the galaxy if you buy the Apocalypse expansion. And they are raiders, in favor of living on ships and stations and in and around a handful of resource-rich systems subsisting largely on raiding each other and extorting tribute from settled empires. Spawn spacefarers, hardy warriors, expert ship crews, able to master impressive fleets despite their lack of technology compared to other older civilizations such as fallen empires. Marauders are always hostile to regular empires but will generally not attack them unless you attempt to enter their home systems or are in the process of raiding them, of course. And then, this is an example, the Obha-free warriors. They occupy a number of large space stations in and around a system. They seem to have developed a strong martial culture, and there's no central government to speak of. But they have a large population, and the shipbuilding capability of their station is great. The only thing keeping them from growing into a significant threat to galactic peace is the constant infighting they have. This is one representative of, in that example, Empire, the Obha-free warriors. They are referring to a deity, the favored servants of She of the Void, the all-seeing, ever-knowing, and above all vengeful supreme being that lords over space. So first they are referring to a supreme being and are not united. So they are singular occurrences that spawn from time to time, and you can, as you can see here, give them tribute to stop their attacks, or to do that preemptively. They will also warn you before their attack, and then you can give them where is it? Yeah, that becoming a satrapy. So you can pay tribute, become a satrapy, or you can hire their beings. And is the aid of Marauders as mercenaries. At the start of the game, it's possible to hire them as generals or admirals with a high starting skill and special traits. For a certain amount of time has passed, the option to hire their fleets will also be unlocked. A large energy payment upfront consists of a fixed size fleet that cannot be split, merged, or disbanded with a leader that cannot be reassigned. Fleet does not count towards your naval cap, extending that basically, and will not cost any maintenance, will only serve you for a period of 5 years, after which you will have to renew their contract, paying the full cost again. That is, by the way, such a system with the shipyards. And here we have what you get for it: 6 cruisers, 8 frigates, 16 raiders in a relatively early stage of the game, I'd assume. The Armada of the Voidborn. And do not let their rowdy nature deceive you. When battle is joined, their discipline is second to none. So they are really, really good. Now, what happens when they let go of the Voidborn, She of the Void thing and unite? That is the Horde mid-game crisis, also Apocalypse. This is an event chain that can trigger after the first 100 years of the game, where one of the Marauder empires unifies under a Great Khan. Once this happens, the Marauder empire becomes a Horde and will begin expanding in all directions, the Golden Horde of the space galaxy, claiming empty systems and sending fleets to destroy the starbases of any empire that will not submit to the Khan, as is in becoming a satrapy. That is basically a province of the Horde from Persian time, like that. That's the term explained. A type of subject that has to pay part of its income and naval capacity in tribute to the Khan, but is otherwise left to its own devices. So very similar to lower level Crusader Kings empires too. This horde will grow stronger for every system it conquers and satrapy it acquires, but it is a fragile construct. If you remember old EU4 and the hordes, what happens if the leader, the Khan, is killed? There is an outbreak of infighting. So, if the Great Khan is killed in battle or falls victim to disease or assassination, the horde will collapse, at which point one of several things will happen to the horde and its satrapies. It may dissolve into a myriad of squabbling successor states, or a new democratic federation may form out of its ashes. Regardless, the appearance of the Khan and the horde is sure to shake up the galactic scene of any game in which it makes an appearance. I'm a big fan of the Crisis, so I love that. It's moving Stellaris to definitely a great playground with a lot of story elements. Yeah, a battleground, a battle playground, rather than like the directions of going into multiplayer where everything gets ironed out. It gets more eccentric, more great, more unbalanced, one might say, but this unbalance is good for the stories you write. I mean, you write when you play the game. It is, I think, a great opportunity that grows with every growing feature here, as long as they make sure that the base game works as it should, of course. So, for the first time in recorded history, the warring factions of the Suivan, in that case, have united under a single Great Khan. This mysterious warlord, who according to some accounts is a powerful psychic, has emerged. Yeah, the being of the void, from their warrior caste, and accomplished what most thought impossible. Through a combination of guile, charisma, and military genius, the newly crowned Great Khan has won the utter loyalty and devotion of all Suivan factions. Now that they are no longer busy killing each other, the Suivan are turning their attention elsewhere. Great fleets are massing for war, crewed by eager warriors who are now steadfast comrades in arms. Despite having been mortal enemies mere months ago, a new threat is born. You can see here, you can become that satrapy. You will pay 10% of your energy credits, 20% of your minerals, and 30% of your naval capacity. And the horde will grow more powerful. So you can, I mean, you can do that if you're going for really civil advancement. They're not really protecting you, but they're leaving you alone. You can do that also, like calculate that in to troll the other empires, like accept their terms. Yeah, okay, let's go for the horde. And a nice new flag we have here. Like, is that a strange head? Is that also selectable? We'll see. Then this is the Apocalypse features. They are the flashy part, but that's also not bad. The pirate rework. So of course, with the Marauders entering, and you will rework the pirates. Also because they didn't work in the new border systems. They didn't really work well. So they will be tougher now. And now, once the Birth of Space Piracy event has fired, pirates will be able to spawn in empty systems bordering your empire. So instead of having a few fixed spots, they can spawn at any time. They'll attack your systems and pillage your stations until they are destroyed, and will grow stronger and more numerous over the course of the game. So they stay relevant, which is something that is really cool, because I think the things you meet in the early game should not become totally irrelevant, but rather change to other challenges and stay relevant. So they're especially likely to spawn in systems that are fully surrounded by your borders, making any empty systems in the middle of your empire into potential hotbeds of trouble that you're likely going to want to take control of sooner or later. Reminding, like, Civilization, you could use these as training grounds for aspiring fleet officers, right? It would be cynical, but maybe good. As part of these changes, they've removed most of the static pirate spawns in the galaxy, leaving only their home system with a pirate galleon. So that's the new event. Pirates sighted. The lawless Stenlar system has become a safe haven for an increasing number of pirates, smugglers, and various other criminal elements. These outlaws are based beyond the current boundaries of civilized space. They frequently venture into our systems in search of victims they must be dealt with. So, I think that was pretty cool, even though it wasn't that long. I think it's a well thought out feature. We'll see if it works. I'm totally in favor of more challenges getting thrown at you, while I'm also in favor of the AI being improved. This is also a good method to do this. I was a big fan of the Antares threat in Master of Orion 2, and it was always sad. It wasn't very strong. So the ability to adjust that in the menus is really good, and I'll be sure to adjust that. I mean, usually putting it up to 3 times the strength is an adventure rather than something putting you into serious trouble. So that's really cool. So next time on the topic of edicts and Unity ambitions. So Unity will have other uses. I'm also happy for that, as Unity like runs out of use somewhere in the mid to end game. Yeah, I mean, if you play games to the end, it's very often you have all of the traditions finished and then you have Unity. And what to do with that Unity? Well, nothing. It just sits around until it reaches 2 million, which is the fixed limit, and then there's that. So I'm excited for that too. And so if you want to stay in contact, I'd recommend subscribing, or also I'm making a blog post like summarizing all of the 2.0 and Apocalypse changes, and I've linked that in the end screen. You can click on it and look at it if you like it. There's the summaries of all dev diaries there, all the videos I've made, and all the links to the official dev diaries. So I'm also repeatedly doing these videos, of course, usually within a day. The video is there, sometimes the same day, sometimes also 2 days later, because I have kids and sometimes these things happen. So I'd love for you to stay in contact and click subscribe, click on the bell to make sure you get the message, because subscribing doesn't mean that much anymore. And yeah, have a good time until then, and happy gaming. Tell me if you love what's coming with the Apocalypse, or do you think it's something you wouldn't need, or would you need something else? We'll see about that. I like the changes coming, and it's just a brutal war expansion. That's what it's intended to be. I'm more of a builder, but are you a warrior? Tell me, please. I'd like to know what kind of empires do you play. So see you in the next dev diary, or elsewhere on the channel in the Let's Plays, or wherever. Have a good time until then, and happy gaming.